Welcome, dear friend. Tonight we'll take a peaceful journey into a hidden moonlit garden where every flower holds a forgotten dream and every gentle breeze carries a quiet memory. There is nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to be. Simply allow yourself to relax, let the worries of the day drift away and follow the soft glow of the moon. As our story unfolds, may your mind grow calmer, your breathing slower, and your heart lighter. Now get comfortable. Close your eyes if you'd like. And let's begin our peaceful journey into the Garden of Dreams. A peaceful bedtime journey through the Garden of Dreams. Chapter 1. The Path Beneath the Silver Moon. Tonight, allow yourself to leave behind the busy hours of the day. There is nothing you need to finish, nothing you need to solve, nothing you need to remember. For now, all that matters is this quiet journey. Imagine a gentle evening where the sky has turned a deep shade of blue and the first stars have just begun to appear, far beyond the villages, beyond the rivers, beyond the hills wrapped in soft mist. There is a hidden garden. Few people ever find it, not because it is difficult to reach, but because only those with peaceful hearts can see the silver path leading there. The path appears only when the moon is full. Its stones glow softly beneath your feet, as though tiny stars have settled upon the earth. Tonight, you have found it. Take a slow breath. The cool evening air carries the sweet fragrance of jasmine and blooming lavender. A gentle breeze brushes across your face. Somewhere nearby, a tiny stream sings quietly over smooth stones. Nothing rushes here. Even time seems to walk more slowly beneath the moon. As you continue along the silver path, little lanterns begin to appear among the flowers. They are not made by people. Each lantern is carried by a firefly. Hundreds of tiny golden lights floating peacefully through the night. They drift lazily between white roses, bluebells, moon lilies, and flowers whose names have long been forgotten by the world beyond this place. The air feels warmer now, comforting, safe. Ahead stands an old wooden gate covered in climbing roses. The roses are unlike any you've ever seen. During the day they remain ordinary, but beneath moonlight, their petals shine with soft silver light. A small wooden sign hangs beside the gate. The letters are carved by hand. It simply says, "The Garden of Quiet Dreams." The gate opens without a sound. No wind pushes it. No hands touch it. It simply welcomes those who arrive with kindness. You step inside. The world becomes even quieter. Tall trees sway gently overhead. Their leaves shimmer like tiny pieces of glass beneath the moon. A family of rabbits rests beneath an oak tree. They lift their ears for only a moment before returning to peaceful sleep. Nothing here fears your presence. Everything seems to know you already. The winding path continues through fields of glowing flowers. Tiny butterflies, pale as moonlight, drift slowly through the cool night air. Even they seem unhurried in the distance. You hear the soft splash of water. A small fountain rests at the center of the garden. Its water falls so gently that each drop sounds almost like a whisper. Around the fountain grow thousands of white flowers. Every petal reflects the moon. Every leaf glimmers with silver dew. And standing beside the fountain, watering the flowers with a small silver watering can, is an old man. His beard is as white as fresh snow. His long coat carries tiny embroidered stars. His straw hat is decorated with dried lavender and little blue feathers. His movements are slow, gentle, patient. As though he has all the time in the world, he notices you. He smiles warmly, not surprised, not curious, almost as though he has been expecting you all along. "Welcome," he says softly. "I wondered when you would find your way here." His voice is calm, like rain falling softly upon leaves, like distant waves meeting a quiet shore. "I am the moon gardener." He bows his head just slightly. "My work begins when the world falls asleep." He gestures toward the endless garden stretching beneath the stars. "Every flower here holds a peaceful dream. Every tree remembers a happy memory. Every gentle breeze carries comfort to someone who needs it." You look around once more. The flowers seem to glow a little brighter. The stars overhead appear closer than before. The night itself feels alive, yet perfectly peaceful. The moon gardener begins walking slowly along another winding path. Without saying anything, you quietly follow him because somehow you already know that tonight your journey has only just begun. The silver gate the moon gardener walked slowly, not because he was old, but because nothing beautiful ever needed to hurry. His small lantern swayed gently in his hand, casting a warm golden glow upon the winding path. You followed quietly behind. The air was wonderfully still. Only the gentle rustling of leaves above and the distant murmur of flowing water accompanied your footsteps. The flowers on either side of the path seemed almost awake. White moon lilies slowly opened their petals. Tiny silver daisies shimmered beneath drops of cool dew. Every flower appeared to breathe softly with the rhythm of the night. The moon gardener paused beside a small wooden bridge. Below it flowed a narrow stream so clear that every pebble beneath the surface looked polished by moonlight. Small fish glowing with pale blue light drifted lazily through the gentle current. "They are dream fish," the old gardener whispered. "They carry peaceful dreams from one side of the garden to the other." Leaned against the wooden railing. The water reflected thousands of stars for a moment. You could not tell where the sky ended and where the river began. The gardener smiled. "Many visitors ask where this garden is." He looked upward. "But the better question," he paused gently, "is when." Answer floated through the quiet night like a soft breeze. "This garden exists only during the peaceful hours between yesterday and tomorrow." You smiled without fully understanding, yet somehow the answer felt perfectly right. The two of you continued walking. Soon the trees became taller, older. Their trunks were wide enough that it would take several people holding hands to reach around them. The bark shimmered softly beneath the moon. Every branch carried tiny lantern flowers instead of fruit. The branches grew glowing blossoms. Each blossom released a faint golden light that gently floated through the forest like tiny stars. The moon gardener reached out and carefully touched one flower. It slowly opened. Inside rested a single glowing seed. He carefully placed it inside a small velvet pouch hanging from his belt. "This one is ready." "What is it?" you asked quietly. "A dream," he answered. "Every dream belongs to sleeping people. Some dreams belong to the future." Forest became quieter. Even the wind seemed to whisper more softly. Ahead, something magnificent slowly appeared between the ancient trees. It was a gate, unlike any gate you had ever seen. It stood almost twice as tall as the surrounding trees. Its graceful arch was formed entirely from living silver vines. Moon roses climbed every side. Tiny white blossoms glowed like scattered stars. The gate itself seemed woven from branches of polished silver. No lock, no handle, no hinges, only moonlight. The moon gardener stopped before it. He removed his hat, closed his eyes. and placed one gentle hand against the shining vines. The entire gate began glowing softly at first. Then brighter, tiny lights danced through every branch. The silver vines slowly untangled themselves without making the slightest sound. The gate opened, warm light spilled across the forest floor. Beyond it stretched another garden, even more peaceful, even more beautiful. The air carried the fragrance of jasmine, fresh rain, wild lavender, and warm honey. Butterflies floated slowly beneath the moon. Thousands of tiny fireflies drifted among flowering trees somewhere nearby. A wind chime sang quietly. Its delicate notes seemed carried by the stars themselves. The moon gardener looked back toward you. His smile was gentle. "There are many gardens," he said, "but very few travelers reach this one." He stepped forward. You followed. The silver gate slowly closed behind you. Yet instead of feeling trapped, you felt safe, as though the entire garden had wrapped itself around you like a warm blanket. The path ahead shimmered beneath the moonlight. Somewhere in the distance, a quiet owl called once, then silence returned. The moon gardener lifted his lantern a little higher. "There is someone I'd like you to meet, the keeper of sleeping flowers," he smiled. "But there is no need to hurry. Nothing beautiful ever grows quickly." And together, you disappeared deeper into the peaceful garden of dreams. While the moon continued its silent journey across the endless night sky, the path became softer beneath your feet. No longer made of silver stones, it was now covered with a carpet of tiny moss, so gentle that each step felt almost weightless. The moon gardener walked quietly ahead, his lantern glowing like a small golden star. Above, the moon had climbed higher into the velvet sky. Its light poured gently through the ancient branches, painting the forest in soft shades of silver and blue. Everything felt slower here. Even your breathing seemed to match the peaceful rhythm of the garden. After a little while, the trees began to open into a wide clearing. At its center stood the most beautiful greenhouse you had ever seen. It was unlike any greenhouse built by human hands. Its walls were made of clear crystal that shimmered beneath the moonlight. Delicate silver vines climbed across every window. Tiny white flowers bloomed along the roof, releasing a faint fragrance of vanilla and fresh rain. Inside, thousands of flowers rested peacefully. Some glowed pale blue, others shimmered with soft gold. A few were almost transparent, sparkling gently like morning dew. The moon gardener stopped at the entrance. "This," he whispered, "is where sleeping flowers dream." You looked at him curiously. "Flowers dream?" He smiled. "Oh yes, everything living dreams. The trees dream of spring. The rivers dream of the sea. The stars dream of sunrise. Flowers," he gently touched one glowing blossom, "dream of the people they comfort." You stepped quietly inside. The air felt warm, not hot. Just comfortably warm, like a blanket fresh from the sun. Somewhere nearby, water trickled gently through tiny stone channels. The sound was calm and steady. It invited silence. In the very center of the greenhouse sat an elderly woman. She wore a long robe the color of moonlight. Her silver hair was braided with tiny lavender flowers. In her lap rested a small basket filled with glowing seeds. Without looking up, she smiled. "Been expecting another traveler." Her voice was soft enough to blend with the sound of flowing water. The moon gardener bowed respectfully. "This is the keeper of sleeping flowers." The old woman looked at you with kind eyes. Every wrinkle upon her face seemed to tell a story, not of sadness, but of peace. She gently held up one tiny glowing seed. This one belongs to a little girl. Tonight she is afraid of thunderstorms. Keeper carefully placed the seed into a blue flower. Almost instantly, the flower opened. Its petals shimmered with soft silver light. A tiny glowing butterfly rose into the air. It circled the greenhouse once, then floated gently through an open window, disappearing into the quiet night. "It will find her," the keeper whispered, "and by morning, she will remember only a beautiful dream. You watched in silent wonder another seed, another flower, another butterfly, each carrying comfort to someone sleeping somewhere beneath the same moon. No one hurried, no one spoke loudly. The work itself was peaceful, almost like a quiet song. The moon gardener picked up a small watering can made of polished silver. He watered each flower carefully, only a single drop for each blossom. "No flower needs more than kindness," he said softly. "No dream grows stronger when rushed." You noticed shelves filled with tiny glass jars. Inside each jar glowed a different colored light: soft blue, warm amber, gentle violet. "What are they?" you asked. The keeper smiled. "They are peaceful memories. The smell of fresh bread, grandmother's gentle hug, the sound of rain upon a cottage roof, feeling of warm sunlight after winter. Keep them safe. So whenever someone forgets that the world can still be gentle, the flowers remind them." Outside, a breeze moved softly through the trees. Wind chimes sang somewhere far away. The moonlight shimmered across the crystal walls. The greenhouse glowed like a quiet star resting peacefully upon the earth. The keeper placed another tiny seed into your hand. It was warm, almost alive. "What dream does this belong to?" you whispered. She smiled. "It hasn't found its dreamer yet. Perhaps it has been waiting for you." You closed your fingers gently around the tiny glowing seed. Its light became softer, warmer, calmer for a moment. The entire greenhouse seemed to breathe together: flowers, trees, moonlight, the old gardener, the keeper. And you, everything existed in perfect harmony. Nothing needed to change, nothing needed to hurry. Nothing needed to be anything other than exactly what it already was. The moon gardener smiled quietly. "It is almost time. There is another part of the garden I wish to show you." Together, you stepped back into the cool night air. Behind you, the crystal greenhouse continued to glow beneath the silver moon, while thousands of sleeping flowers dreamed peacefully until dawn. The night grew even quieter, not darker, only softer, as though the moon had wrapped the entire garden in a blanket of silver light. You walked beside the moon gardener, along a narrow path lined with smooth white stones. Neither of you felt the need to speak. Sometimes, the most comforting journeys were the ones shared in peaceful silence. The gentle breeze carried the scent of jasmine, lavender, and fresh pine. Tiny fireflies floated lazily between the flowers, never rushing, never wandering far from the path. Above, the stars shimmered like tiny lanterns scattered across an endless velvet sky. The moon gardener finally slowed to a stop. Before you stretched a quiet lake. Its surface was perfectly still. Not a single ripple disturbed the water. It reflected the moon so clearly that it seemed as though another sky rested beneath the earth. "This," the gardener whispered, "is the lake of quiet dreams. It remembers every peaceful dream ever dreamed." You stepped closer. The water looked almost like glass. As you gazed into it, you expected to see your own reflection. Instead, the lake showed something else. A small wooden cottage with warm light glowing through its windows, snow falling gently outside, a crackling fireplace, someone reading a book beneath a soft blanket. The scene faded as gently as it had appeared. Another followed, children laughing in a meadow filled with wildflowers, a grandfather carving a tiny wooden bird, a mother humming a quiet lullaby while the rain tapped softly against the roof. Each memory lasted only a few moments, then drifted away like mist upon the morning air. "Lake doesn't show the past," said the moon gardener. "It shows moments of peace that people have carried in their hearts." He knelt beside the water and dipped his fingers into its cool surface. Tiny circles spread outward. Each ripple shimmered with pale silver light before disappearing into stillness once more. When someone forgets how peaceful life can feel, the lake remembers for them. Nearby, graceful white swans glided silently across the water. They left almost no wake behind them. Even the fish beneath the surface moved with quiet elegance, their silver scales catching fragments of moonlight. The moon gardener reached into the pocket of his long coat. From it he removed a tiny paper boat. It was carefully folded from creamy white paper. He placed it gently upon the lake instead of drifting away. The little boat began glowing softly. "What is it carrying?" you asked. "A wish," he replied. "The kind that asks for riches or fame, the quiet kind. Wish for someone's heart to feel lighter tomorrow morning." Paper boat floated slowly across the lake. The swans watched it pass without fear. Far above, an owl called once from the branches of an ancient cedar tree. Its voice echoed softly across the still water before fading into silence. You sat beside the shore. The cool grass beneath you felt soft and comforting. The gardener joined you for several minutes. Neither of you spoke. There was no need. The lake itself seemed to tell a story not with words, but with gentle reflections, with moonlight, with silence, with peace. After a while, tiny glowing petals began drifting across the water. They were unlike ordinary flower petals. Each one shone with faint golden light. "They bloom only once each month," the moon gardener explained, "on the quietest night. The wind carries them wherever comfort is needed." One glowing petal landed gently upon your hand. It felt lighter than a feather, warmer than sunlight remembered from childhood. You closed your eyes for a brief moment. You felt completely safe. Every worry seemed to drift farther away. Every hurried thought became slower. Every breath became deeper. The gardener smiled kindly. The garden knows exactly what each traveler needs. He stood slowly and lifted his lantern. "Have one more place to show you before dawn begins its journey." Across the far side of the lake, a tiny wooden bridge stretched into a forest glowing with soft blue light. Beyond those trees, something extraordinary waited. Together, you crossed the bridge. The lantern's warm glow danced gently upon the polished wood. Behind you, the lake of quiet dreams became perfectly still once more, holding its silent reflections beneath the endless silver moon, as though it had been peacefully waiting for travelers, for hundreds, perhaps thousands, of quiet nights. Crescent moon, the wooden bridge ended where the forest quietly began. The trees here were unlike any you had seen before. Their trunks were smooth and pale, almost silver beneath the moonlight, and their branches stretched high into the night sky, where countless tiny lights rested among the leaves. At first they looked like stars, but as you stepped closer, you realized they were growing there, little blossoms of light, each one glowing softly, no brighter than a candle flame. The moon gardener smiled as he noticed your wonder. "This is the forest of whispering stars," he said gently. "Long ago, when a star grows too gentle to remain in the sky, it comes here to rest among the trees." You looked upward. The tiny light swayed with the breeze. Every movement filled the forest with a faint golden shimmer. The air smelled of pine needles, fresh moss, and cool evening rain. A fox wandered quietly between the trees. Its soft amber fur reflected the lantern's warm glow. It peed.